You definitely don't want to miss this story. I won't lose you, and I won't lose them. These are the enemies of my enemies, my best pals. Mother's love for Alice resembles a controlling stage drama, complex yet charming. It just plants small sparks for the future, still quietly brewing. When Alice left prison, she took her mother's wise advice and pulled off her necklace. It was a cold night for that decision. Boyfriend, a quiet domestic whiz, returns home tonight. He and the housewife differ greatly. Working from home feels so cozy. Alice sensed long-absent paternal love from him. Daniel's tone was as gentle as a spring breeze. He always comforted her best when Alice felt sad about her mother. He always taught her to look ahead, and she loved hanging out with Daniel the most. Her work seems captured by art and recorded on her sketchpad. When asked, she had dodged with writing letters and art a secret. Daniel has seen the kids or even talked to them. What a grown-up's life. Every day is a soul-wrenching struggle. These days, her only wish was to see her kids again. Alice could totally relate since she hadn't had a father figure around since day. Whenever people sang praises of paternal love, she felt nothing. The happy days were the ones she cherished, and Daniel was like her substitute dad. Her world was lit up the moment she came around, sunshine galore, and happiness was just around the corner. The next day, a fire erupted in the woods, smoke swirling as if to devour the mountain. Luckily, the wind favored them. Her parents were fond of her. During the fire, her mother always let her decide whether to leave. Talk about the decision that could change their lives. Mama did this to build Alice's grit in hardship. Daniel thought she was a sweetheart with an enchanting smile. Her face turned as red as a ripe tomato, and life's little joy sneaked up to poke her heart. She thought happiness would last forever, but surprised Papa didn't want to. She noticed that the relationship between Alice and Daniel was getting a little weird. It might just shake things up. Even though Alice kept insisting on treating Daniel like a dad, Papa couldn't help but be shocked by what he said. Subtitles. She made the decision to phone the Child Services Department, requesting them to send someone over to pick Alice up. And as a result, Alice was granted the opportunity to remain here. Meanwhile, when Daniel learned of the quarrel, it was as if he were watching a soap opera. She hoped Daniel wouldn't dig too deep, but surprise her unexpected answer was a firm denial of any fighting. With growing up is tough, outside rumors constantly warn you to be cautious. Papa interrupted their world, and Daniel pondered what to say. But she didn't dare to speak up. Daniel's heart whispered a little tune. He really didn't want her father to know. All the little thoughts rolled in Daniel's mind. He didn't want to complicate things. He kept whispering to himself, "Don't let the father know. Don't let the father know." Daniel's heart was busy with thoughts. He really wished he had a friend to catch his little secrets. The situation unfolded like a mystery, with Daniel and his daughter's relationship becoming increasingly delicate and complex. Everything felt like it was brewing something, a mix of different emotions swirling together like a grand symphony. Daniel pondered his complicated relationship with his daughter, slowly realizing this might be a chapter in his life story. Such thoughts lingered, and everything seemed to foreshadow some kind of change in the future. Choosing to run away was like hitting the reset button on years of mother-son drama. Let's hope it's not a circus. Thus, the younger brother was the biggest victim. Alice lowered her head, daring not meet the housewife's gaze. The housewife, in a bad mood, shifted her focus to Alice. After a few drinks, she turned quite emotional. She insisted Daniel had a thing with Alice. It was just crazy. She pulled out a gun from the drawer and aimed it at Alice. Seeing this, Alice fled. Archimedes couldn't match her agility. She fumbled with the window, but was too late. Daniel dragged the housewife away to prevent her from hurting Alice further. While injured, Alice fainted. Time felt as cruel as torture. The hospital ambulance arrived swiftly after the boy's call. Alice didn't want to die like this. She hoped he wouldn't reveal the truth. Alice promised not to reveal the housewife's secret. Daniel and the housewife were taken away by the police for questioning, and Alice felt it was all her fault. She felt incredibly sorry for the pain caused to her family. Fortunately, the boy held no grudge. She knew this day was bound to come. The bullet had been shot years ago, only now did it hit this home, a truly unwarranted event. After treatment in the hospital, she was sent back to the Unfeeling Child Services Center for the rest of her days. The center took in many homeless kids, especially those girls who were jealous of her. They isolated her and even threw punches. But the recent trials made her learn strength without realizing it. She chopped off her beautiful long hair, bidding farewell to her. In the midnight hour, she pressed a knife against the bad kid's neck, ready for a showdown at any moment. From then on, Alice inherited her mother's character, beautiful yet fierce, a stunning combo. At the center, she met a soulmate. That boy, like her, was also a homeless kid, lonely and quiet, with the face of an artist while painting. Since they both loved to paint, they opened a dialogue through art, but at first glance, she didn't seem friendly at all. Alice informed her that life would be simpler without friends, and that being cold-hearted might perhaps be a method of self-protection. At that very moment, Bao opened up and shared her own personal story. Her parents were quite low-key. When she was 6, her mother abandoned her, and a few years later, her father vanished. Homelessness was their mutual bond. In return, Bao posed a question to Alice. Her conflict with the bad kids had escalated to an irreparable stage. The center can only intervene. They had to switch monitors for the bad kids. Taking advantage of the chaos, Bao quickly led Alice into a nearby store. Bao picked a few art books, admiring the artworks within. Alice's compliments made her blush and smile shyly. Flustered with compliments, Bao preferred being a little incognito artist instead of being thrust into the spotlight. However, Alice never held back on praise. She always spoke highly of those who were exceptional.